The world rarely controls a man through force. It controls him through need. The need to be accepted, the need to be praised, the need to be loved, noticed, respected, reassured, and constantly reminded that he matters. Every unnecessary need becomes a weakness someone else can use. Machiavelli understood that real power does not begin when you learn to control people. It begins when people lose the ability to control you. If one insult destroys your peace, you are controlled. If rejection makes you question your worth, you are controlled. If loneliness sends you back to people who disrespect you, you are controlled. If pleasure can make you abandon discipline, you are controlled. A man may have money, status, muscles, and influence, yet still be psychologically owned by anyone who can give him what he craves or threaten to take it away. Your first task is not to gain more. It is to need less approval, less attention, less comfort, less explanation, less permission. This does not mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming difficult to manipulate. You can love without begging. You can desire without chasing. You can pursue success without becoming desperate. You can lose something valuable without losing yourself. The man who needs less becomes dangerous because fewer things can be used against him. He does not rush because others withdraw attention. He does not panic because an opportunity disappears. He does not betray his standards because someone threatens to leave. He remains composed. He watches. He decides. He moves when the move serves him, not when fear demands it. So examine your life carefully. Ask yourself what you are terrified to lose. That fear may reveal exactly where your freedom ends. Comment, "I need less, so I control more." Let that become your first law. Number 2, fear is the invisible leash. Most men believe fear is something that appears only in moments of danger. It is not. Fear is often quieter than that. It hides inside hesitation, overthinking, people-pleasing, procrastination, and the constant need to know what will happen next. Fear whispers, what if they reject you? What if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if they laugh? And because the voice sounds reasonable, you obey it without realizing you have surrendered control. Machiavelli understood that fear is one of the oldest tools of power because frightened people become predictable. They choose safety over opportunity. They remain silent when they should speak. They tolerate disrespect because confrontation feels risky. They stay in weak situations because uncertainty feels more dangerous than misery. This is how men slowly build their own prisons, not with chains, but with avoidance. The more you avoid what frightens you, the larger that fear becomes. Eventually, your entire life is designed around not feeling uncomfortable. That is when you become easy to control. Anyone who can threaten your comfort can influence your decisions. Anyone who can threaten your reputation can silence you. Anyone who can threaten abandonment can make you betray your standards. You must reverse this pattern. Stop asking how to eliminate fear. Fear will always exist. Ask instead how to move while fear is present. That is the real discipline. Courage is not feeling nothing. Courage is refusing to let emotion issue commands. You feel the pressure, but you still think clearly. You hear the doubt, but you still act deliberately. You understand the risk, but you do not exaggerate it into catastrophe. Each time you face what you once avoided, fear loses authority. Each time you survive rejection, embarrassment, uncertainty, or failure, your nervous system learns a new lesson. Discomfort is not destruction. Once you understand this, people lose one of their greatest weapons against you. Threats become weaker. Silence becomes easier. Walking away becomes possible. You stop negotiating against yourself. You stop imagining disasters that have not happened. You become colder under pressure, slower to react, harder to intimidate. Comment, fear does not command me. Write it because this is the second law of becoming untouchable. You do not need to destroy fear. You only need to stop obeying it. Number 3, control your reactions before they control you. A man becomes easy to manipulate the moment people can predict his reactions. If anger always makes you speak, if disrespect always makes you explode, If praise always makes you soften, if silence always makes you chase, then you are not in control. You are being operated. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to the person who can remain composed while everyone else becomes emotional. Your reaction is information. Every outburst reveals what hurts you. Every desperate message reveals what you fear losing. Every defensive explanation reveals where your insecurity lives. And once people know what triggers you, they know how to move you. This is why emotional discipline is not about becoming numb. It is about becoming unreadable when necessary. Feel everything. Display selectively. Anger can be useful, but uncontrolled anger makes you stupid. Fear can protect you, but uncontrolled fear makes you obedient. Desire can motivate you, but uncontrolled desire makes you easy to tempt. Your emotions should serve your judgment, not replace it. When someone provokes you, do not immediately give them the reaction they came to collect. Pause. Observe. Ask yourself what response actually improves your position. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Sometimes it is distance. Sometimes it is one calm sentence. Sometimes it is leaving without explanation. The weak man reacts to relieve pressure. The disciplined man responds to create advantage. That difference changes everything. You must train yourself to create a gap between what you feel and what you do. Inside that gap is your power. Someone insults you. Let the first wave pass. Someone ignores you. Refuse to invent stories. Someone challenges you. Study the motive before answering. Someone tries to make you jealous, angry, or insecure. Recognize the bait before you bite. Every time you refuse an impulsive reaction, you strengthen command over yourself. And self-command creates psychological weight. People begin to realize they cannot easily shake you. They cannot make you perform on demand. They cannot pull your strings simply by touching an insecurity. That calm becomes intimidating because it suggests something deeper. You are no longer ruled by the moment. Comment: my reaction belongs to me. Remember this third law. The man who controls his reactions controls the rhythm of the room. And the man who controls the rhythm is rarely the one being controlled. Number 4. Detachment makes you hard to manipulate. The moment you become emotionally dependent on an outcome, you begin losing your ability to think clearly. You stop seeing reality as it is and start seeing only what you desperately want it to become. This is where manipulation enters. Machiavelli understood that attachment creates leverage. The more desperately a man wants something, the easier he becomes to control. If you need a person to stay, you will tolerate what you should reject. If you need an opportunity to work, you will accept terms that weaken you. If you need everyone to respect you, you will waste your energy defending yourself to people who were never worth convincing. Detachment changes this. Detachment does not mean becoming cold, heartless, or indifferent. It means refusing to let desire overpower judgment. You can want something deeply and still be willing to walk away when the price becomes too high. That willingness gives you strength. The man who can leave the table cannot easily be forced into a bad deal. The man who can endure silence cannot easily be manipulated by withdrawal. The man who can accept rejection cannot easily be controlled by approval. Most people reveal their weakness by clinging. They chase harder when someone pulls away. They explain themselves when misunderstood. They lower their standards when afraid of losing access. They mistake desperation for loyalty. You must become different. When something begins costing you your dignity, clarity, discipline, or self-respect, step back and observe. Ask yourself whether you still want the thing itself or whether you are simply afraid of losing it. Those are not the same. Fear of loss can make ordinary things appear priceless. This is why strategic detachment matters. It restores perspective. It reminds you that no single person, opportunity, possession, or outcome is your entire future. There are always other moves, other roads, other rooms, other possibilities. Once your mind understands this, pressure decreases. You become slower to panic, harder to rush, more difficult to trap. People sense that you are not negotiating from desperation, and the balance shifts. Your presence becomes stronger because you are choosing, not begging. Your decisions become cleaner because they are no longer poisoned by fear. Comment: I can want it without needing it. Remember this fourth law. The more capable you become of walking away, the more carefully you choose what deserves your loyalty. And when nothing owns your emotions completely, almost nothing can control your direction. Number 5. Silence protects your power. Most men talk too much when they feel pressure. They explain their plans, defend their choices, reveal their frustrations, announce their next move, and expose their emotions because silence makes them uncomfortable. That discomfort is expensive. Machiavelli understood that information is power, and the man who gives away too much information gives away pieces of himself. Every unnecessary explanation tells people what you are thinking. Every emotional confession reveals what affects you. Every premature announcement exposes what you are trying to build before it is strong enough to survive interference. You must learn the discipline of saying less, not because silence is mysterious, but because silence protects clarity. When you stop explaining everything, you stop giving people material to use against you. When you stop announcing your plans, you remove outside opinions from decisions that require your own judgment. When you stop reacting immediately, you gain time to understand what is actually happening. Silence creates space between provocation and response, and inside that space, you can see motives more clearly. Watch how people behave when you do not rush to fill the silence. Some become nervous. Some reveal more than they intended. Some expose their insecurity because they expected you to defend yourself. This is why silence can become a psychological advantage. The person who cannot tolerate uncertainty often speaks first, explains too much, and reveals their position. You do not need to play games with people. You simply need to stop volunteering your weaknesses. If someone misunderstands you, ask whether correcting them actually matters. If someone insults you, ask whether answering improves your position. If someone demands to know your next move, remember that curiosity does not create entitlement. You are allowed to keep parts of your life private. You are allowed to build without announcing. You are allowed to disappear into work and return with results. The weak man wants everyone to understand him. The disciplined man understands that being misunderstood is sometimes cheaper than being exposed. There is also another kind of silence you must master. Silence inside your own mind. Stop constantly narrating your fears. Stop rehearsing imaginary arguments. Stop mentally defending yourself to people who are not even present. That noise drains energy you could use to build. Learn to sit with uncertainty without immediately creating a story around it. Observe first. Decide second. Speak last. Your words should have weight because they are chosen, not because they are constant. Comment. My silence protects my power. Make this your 5th law. You do not become powerful by making sure everyone hears you. You become powerful when you no longer need to be heard before you act. Let others announce. Let others argue. Let others expose themselves through impatience. You stay calm, gather information, protect your intentions, and move when the moment serves you. A man who controls his tongue controls what others are allowed to know about him, and what they do not know, they cannot easily use. Number 6. Master desire before desire masters you. Desire can build a man, but uncontrolled desire can destroy him faster than fear ever could. The world knows this. That is why temptation is everywhere. Attention, pleasure, money, status, lust, validation, comfort. Every one of these can become a leash if you cannot control your appetite for it. Machiavelli understood that the man who is ruled by desire becomes predictable. Show him what he wants and you can influence his choices. Promise him pleasure and he will ignore consequences. Give him attention and he may sacrifice his dignity to keep it. Offer him quick success and he may abandon patience, discipline, and judgment. This is why self-control is not a small personal habit. It is strategic protection. You must become the man who can look at temptation without immediately moving toward it. You must be able to want something without surrendering your standards to obtain it. That is real power. Most men fail because they confuse desire with command. They feel an urge and assume they must obey it. They feel lonely and reach for anyone available. They feel bored and search for distraction. They feel angry and speak. They feel attracted and chase. They feel ambitious and rush. But an emotion is not an instruction. A craving is not an order. Your mind must remain above your appetite. Train yourself to delay what feels good when waiting creates something better. Delay the purchase, delay the message, delay the reaction, delay the pleasure. Let your impulses discover that they are no longer in charge. At first, this will feel uncomfortable because your old habits expect immediate satisfaction. Stay with that discomfort. Every time you refuse instant gratification, you strengthen your authority over yourself. Eventually, something changes. You stop feeling deprived and start feeling powerful. You realize that the ability to say no to yourself is one of the most valuable forms of freedom. Then your decisions become cleaner. You stop choosing people because you are lonely. You stop spending because you are emotional. You stop chasing opportunities because you fear missing out. You stop sacrificing tomorrow to satisfy tonight. And once you control desire, other people lose one of their easiest ways to manipulate you. Flattery becomes less effective. Seduction becomes less effective. Status becomes less hypnotic. The promise of quick reward becomes less convincing. You begin asking a colder question. What will this choice cost me later? That question separates the impulsive man from the strategic one. Comment: my desires serve me. Make this your sixth law. Enjoy life, but never become a servant to pleasure. Pursue what you want, but never become desperate for it. The man who can delay gratification can protect his future from his present emotions, and the man who masters his appetite becomes much harder for the world to buy, bait, distract, or control. Number 7. Stop needing to be understood. One of the most exhausting weaknesses a man can carry is the constant need to be understood. He explains his intentions to people who have already decided how they want to see him. He defends his choices to those who gain nothing from his success. He tries to prove his heart, justify his silence, clarify his decisions, and correct every false assumption. But the more he explains, the more power he gives away. Machiavelli understood that perception matters, but he also understood that not every perception deserves your energy. Some people misunderstand you because they lack information. Others misunderstand you because misunderstanding you serves them. Learn the difference. You are not required to enter every courtroom where someone has placed you on trial. You are not required to defend your character to people committed to doubting it. The need to be understood becomes dangerous because it makes you emotionally dependent on other people's interpretations. Someone questions your motives, and suddenly you feel compelled to convince them. Someone calls you selfish for protecting your time, and you immediately soften your boundary. Someone accuses you of changing because you stopped being available, and you begin apologizing for your growth. This is how guilt becomes a weapon. The moment someone learns that disapproval makes you explain yourself, they gain leverage. You must become comfortable with the possibility that some people will never fully understand you. Let them. They do not need access to every reason behind your decisions. They do not need a complete map of your thoughts. Privacy is not dishonesty. Silence is not guilt. Distance is not cruelty. Sometimes a clean decision requires no public defense. The disciplined man asks a simple question. Does this person genuinely deserve an explanation, or am I explaining because I am afraid of being judged? That question will expose how often fear disguises itself as politeness. You must stop sacrificing clarity to protect an image in someone else's mind. If your decision is thoughtful, your standards are clear, and your actions are consistent, let time speak for you. Results eventually reveal what arguments cannot, and even when they do not, your peace should not depend on winning every misunderstanding. This does not mean becoming arrogant or refusing accountability. When you are wrong, admit it. When someone deserves clarity, give it, but never confuse accountability with endless self-defense. Strong men can explain once and move on. Weak men keep explaining until they are begging to be believed. Comment: I do not need everyone to understand me. Make this your 7th law. The day you stop needing universal approval, your decisions become cleaner, your boundaries become stronger, your mind becomes quieter, and you finally understand a cold truth. The man who can tolerate being misunderstood becomes much harder to pressure into becoming someone he is not. Number 8. Build a life that cannot be easily shaken. A man becomes truly difficult to control when his stability no longer depends on one person, one opportunity, one income source, one emotion, or one version of the future. Most people are fragile, because too much of their identity is concentrated in too few places. One rejection ruins them, one financial setback terrifies them, one betrayal destroys their confidence, one failure makes them question everything. This is not because the event itself is always catastrophic. It is because they built their entire sense of security around something they assumed would never disappear. Machiavelli understood that survival belongs to those who prepare before the crisis arrives. You must build your life the same way. Create strength in layers. Strengthen your mind so pressure does not immediately become panic. Strengthen your body so discomfort does not make you weak. Strengthen your finances so desperation does not force you into humiliating choices. Strengthen your skills so losing one opportunity does not leave you useless. Strengthen your boundaries so one person cannot drain your entire emotional life. The goal is not to become paranoid. The goal is to become resilient. You should never be one bad day away from becoming someone you no longer recognize. Build routines that continue when motivation disappears. Build savings before emergencies arrive. Build discipline before temptation becomes intense. Build competence before you desperately need it. This is how you reduce fear. Preparation creates calm. The man who knows he can recover does not panic as easily when something goes wrong. He thinks, he adjusts, he moves. He does not waste time asking why life was unfair. He asks what the next move is. That mindset separates the fragile from the formidable. You must also stop building your entire emotional world around people. Love them, respect them, be loyal when loyalty is deserved, but never make another human being the foundation of your identity. People change, relationships change, circumstances change. If your sense of self collapses every time someone leaves, then you were never standing on your own ground. Your foundation must be internal. Your principles, your discipline, your skills, your ability to rebuild. Comment: I can rebuild from anything. Make this your 8th law. Your power is not proven by never losing. It is proven by becoming the kind of man who can lose something important and still remain dangerous, focused, and capable. Build yourself so thoroughly that setbacks become delays, not endings. Then the world becomes less frightening because you know something most men never discover. Almost everything can be replaced, rebuilt, relearned, or recreated when the man himself remains strong.